informational session about Jam Good Living. It is a company that I started after really overcoming a lot of mental battles within my own world. So I wanted to give more information about Jam Good Living and about how I can serve. So first off, hello. I'm Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. Jam Good. I am so excited that you have joined me today to find out more information about Jam Good Living. It is a support company. It's a health and wellness support company that I started after really dealing with my own bouts of self-hate and depression and a lot of things that weren't giving me a good life. I honestly got to the point where I had every single thing that was said to me that you needed to have to be a happy woman. I got the husband, I got the son first, I got the house, I got the California living. I had all those things, but I was still inside miserable. I was still sad inside. I didn't recognize who I was. It wasn't a place that I would like to live, even though I had everything that I was said was needed to have. So I decided that there was something that had to change. Now, changing your outside first, I cleaned up a couple times and my cleanup would just get right back dirty, so that didn't work. So I decided that I had to start from a different place. I needed to start from inside. It was me that needed to shift. It was me because my environment was California, sunny days all the time, all that type of stuff, really good. But it wasn't making me happy. I had family around me. Still wasn't making me happy. So that means I was the issue. I was the problem. There was something going on with myself. So I started and decided to make a mental shift. There was something that I had to think different. There was something that I had to associate with different, something that I had to look at differently. And that's when I stumbled on the perspectives being exactly what shape how your world is. So apparently during that time, I mentally got to the space of thinking that, okay, I'm checking all the boxes. I'm going to do this. This is what's going to happen. But I hadn't mentally checked in with myself to see, is this someplace that you want to be? Is this someplace that reflects you? Is this someplace that you want to actually live in? And through over 5 years of intense mental work before trying to help other people or anything like that, I developed new habits, new systems of thought, new perspectives, and new tools, tips, and tricks to really help myself out of a funk and into the Jam Good Living that I have now. Now, for me, Jam Good Living is specific. Jam stands for Jessica Elena McPhail. That was my name at birth. So Jam Good Living for me is me focused, me centered, me specific good living. But I know since you are me and I am you, now that's one of the things that I say. If you've ever caught a Jam Good Living show, which is called Bright Lights Live, one of the things that I say is you are me just wrapped in you, and I am you just wrapped in me. So once I figured out something that helped me live a good life, I knew for sure that it is my job as a creative consultant and happiness coach to find ways to get you involved with your dream now, even before it comes to be. I am Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. Jam Good, and I thank you for tapping into today's informational session. It is really about giving more information about Jam Good Living and about how this health and wellness support company can be a part of your life. So it comes in two different faculties. So two different areas Jam Good Living really focuses on. One is the creative consultant area, which is really helping people with their content, helping people with creative, innovative, and experientially based marketing to help really promote and put on Broad Street what it is that they have to provide the world. And the second tier is really when I, as a happiness coach and somebody who has really been through the journey of switching your mind from unhappy to happy, it's that giving corporate solutions, personal solutions, and business solutions to help you and your employees get to a place of being happy. Now, happiness isn't the absence of problems. Happiness is actually being able to see the blessing in everything that comes your way. And I'm excited as Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. Jam Good, to be a guide and a support. So Jam Good Living is really my vehicle to offer up to the world what it is that I believe could be helpful. Now, God has given us good life, and that's promised. With each breath, with each blink of our eye, with each beat of our heart, we have this promise of abundance. Like, we don't even see the things that work inside, but they are working for us. They literally are working for us to live a better life every day. And as a creative consultant and happiness coach, it is my job to support you in tapping into the divine love that is already there for you. Now, I want to be a person who adds to the life of an individual who I get involved with. So say you are a business owner and you have these ideas of things that you want to happen, but you are stuck in some way of thinking about how to make it happen. Well, you call a creative consultant, me, and what I come in and do is help you idea it. And what I say by idea it is say, all right, if this is your end goal, if this is something that you're looking towards getting, how can we get there? I help you break down the itty bitty steps, which for me are the habit creation steps that you need to go through so that your success is inevitable. Like, that's what's baseline. Your success is coming. So how can we get there and you enjoy the process of there? How can we get there and throughout that process, you are supporting yourself to everywhere else you want to go? So I, again, am Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. JAMGOOD, and I actually have a Bachelor's of Science in Theater, Performance Study, Dance, Communication, and Marketing from Kennesaw State University. And I've spent the last 11 years really transforming and coming to a place where I can offer the ideas that I have, which are definitely divine sent. I am a vessel of God's goodness. And to get the ideas out of somebody's head and into livable reality through actual actionable steps. Now, we have to put action behind what it is that we envision. But before the action, we have to envision it from a place of feeling it now and present. And as a creative consultant, my consultants, like the people who I help, get the benefit of a happiness coach because I'm always talking about your mind first. So yes, we'll talk about your business. We'll get your business more ideas and into this space where maybe we haven't thought about it before. But we'll do that from feeling the place of where you want to be like it is now. So another one of the things that I wanted to do is kind of communicate how JAMGOOD Living supports people. So I'll take you track by track, the two different ones that I have. So for the creative consultant and the person who needs somebody to support them in their business in coming up with creative ideas, maybe live and in-person events or even marketing campaigns and things that will engage your audience, your clients with you and your business and what you have to offer. So I would come in and I have one of these offerings that I've been working on recently called the Content Creation Club. Now, that is a club that you can join. There are 3 different monthly tiers. And what happens is on a monthly basis with all the plans, you get an opportunity to get custom searched out posts that match the goals of the communication that you want to have. So a company who has products that they have to sell, what they want is to communicate what they have to offer, who they're offering it to, how them getting what it is that the company has to offer would make them feel, would make them live. As your creative consultant, I would walk you through the steps. I am here because my life wasn't going the way I wanted to. Now, it was going the way I wanted to in terms of like, I got everything that I was supposed to do, but internally, I wasn't happy. Internally, I wasn't allowed to give my best to this environment because the environment I created didn't have the best of me in its mind. And so another lane that I help out with in happiness coaching is individual coaching. I walk people through the process of re-establishing a love and trust relationship with themselves through habits, through patterns, through different things that you can cultivate within yourselves. Because again, the only thing that we control is our own perspectives. It's what we get to do on our own. And I'm excited because with the happiness coaching, I have actually seen people's lives turn all the way around. The way they stand, the way they talk to themselves, the way they talk to other people. JAMGOOD Living is a health and wellness company that is created to support the best living possible because I truly believe that life is so jam good. Now, today is an ideation session because I want to give live examples of what it is that I help with. So for the people who are on, thank you so very much for tuning in. If you have a question or you have an idea that you want to see just expounded upon. So I would call JAMGOOD Living like a field. You plant seeds and the field helps you regurgitate so many more of what it is that you want. The line is open. Please request to go live with me. I want to figure out how I can help you. And I want to do this live. We'll take about 5 to 10 minutes with each person, but I want to go and give you some ideas. And trust and believe, every idea I give any one person can work for every single person, because every industry needs ideas. Every industry needs ways of doing things that are different, and every industry can use somebody to help with their creativity. So if you want to go live, please come on now. I would love to see you. If I do like the in the class, pick on a person, please, if you feel comfortable, accept. If don't, it's okay. I just want to make sure that right now, during this time that I have set aside, I want to give demonstration of what it is that I can do. Oh, okay. Well, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know you're at work. Look, if you ever need at your job somebody to come in and do a jam pop-up party for you and the people who I know are supporting other people in their mental health, I would love to talk to whomever is your procurement person or the person who deals with the internal leadership development. Please send them my way, because I definitely know you in particular are somebody who helps other people get to that place of peace with themselves. So you would be somebody who needs to be supported just on a random day out of the month or every month. We just have a moment where we come together and we rally for a positive, optimistic perspective, because that's all we can bring. Okay, so I don't have anybody who is able to join at the moment. But what I'll do is I'll basically take a general kind of topic. So one of the things, and I'll be my own client. One of the things that I want to do is create opportunities for me to serve people like on a regular basis. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, well, if you can type, tell me like one area or one thing that you're working on right now, and then maybe I can go into some ideas about how we can like hype it up or turn some idea or brand core value that you have into something that can be experienced through an event or some kind of marketing engagement strategy. And honestly, I really love coming up with ideas because it's a through line. I don't believe that I like have the ideas. I believe that I get the ideas, and I'm excited because that flow of energy, I feel like some is left in me. It's some the excitement of what other people could possibly do that are affecting other people's lives, that are changing other people's way of being. And I'll give you an idea. So I have a person who is a friend of mine who has a brand new jewelry company that they've decided to come. A family member passed away, and their jewelry was their point of like being really close to other people, right? Close to each other. And so now she's starting a jewelry company and wanting to figure out ways of kind of creating a company. Okay, I like it. We'll go with this, the book launch event. So if you're just tuning in, I am Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. JAMGOOD, the person behind JAMGOOD Living, which is a health and wellness company created to support your health and well living. So we're going to dive into the idea of a book launch event. Okay, so depending on what the book's topic is, we'll lean heavily on like the theme. But one of the things that I think could happen at a book launch that could maximize the opportunity that you've given by collecting a lot of people there is, you know how like videos and TikToks, sometimes they just need a little bit of a video. Every person that you have come and are willing to like get a book signed with them, do a quick little like, them having the book in their hand and then closing it and showing it and then putting it back down, okay, and opening it. Because then what happens is it looks like every single person is kind of like passing the book to each other and or reading the book. And then that could be a reel that you can do later. So even at the event, there's kind of this interactive thing where it's like, okay, everybody, let's participate and make some content with me. And everybody now feels like they're a part of what you're pushing. And it's almost like a thank you because they get to be in this footage with you if you want to stand there with them, or they get to be on camera, on your camera, as you're releasing this book. Of course, if we're having, say, this book launch at McPhail Studios, which is a studio up in Norcross that I run, there's this big event space that can hold up to 125 people with tables and chairs, depending on the type of book. And I would think that this would be maybe like a kind of upscale book. So maybe we'd have like a dinner and conversation with it instead of just being like a regular book signing. What we do is literally have people dress up real nice. That way they'll be ready for the camera. When we say, hey, let's create some content, boom, you're already dressed to the nines. And what we do with this book launch is have everybody come in the center of the table, we'd have like topics that your book cover, but we maybe have conversation starters that are in the center. And we have maybe a 50-minute dinner kind of, everybody gets the conversation. Okay, it's self-help for men. Okay, well, that's perfect. Men look great in suits. So yeah, let's get them to where they're in suits. And then that conversation center could be something to where like they go ahead and kind of have conversations while they're eating with other people. And then you have like a person who is going to interview you and or talk to you about the book that you've had. Maybe talk to you about how you got to the point of needing the self-help yourself, how you got to the point of confidence in communicating what it is that would be self-help. And then one of the things that I think could be interesting is after you've had this kind of conversation, opening it up and then having it be like a round discussion, like a round table discussion where people are kind of giving you feedback about what they've learned, especially if it's something that this is a book that already people have already read it. And then you're just doing like a book signing, kind of like a group meetup of people. I know, right? So exciting. Congratulations on your book. And the other thing that I would do is have the men especially say something that like is a part of what your book teaches. So at the end of it all, and everybody's like, getting ready to go or something like that, just be willing. And this might be not you, like your social media person, whoever is your creative consultant or something like that, or the person who is creating your content. Have them go around and have one specific question that they ask everybody. So then that way, again, you're collecting a vault of content that could be used so many ways later on, because you can literally put like, a little picture of your book and then drop the different advice that people are giving. And you can do that for up to a month or two, depending on how many people come to your event. I think another thing with an event, like say we do that dine-in kind of men's thing, would be cool to have, it's like a thing where the men have some kind of, they do something for each other. So in my head, it would be to where maybe the men, fix each other's tie or, correct each other's shoulders, but it's some actionable sign of the support that each man has for another. And what I would do is have you start it. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you started looking in the mirror, because everybody's supposed to be self-helping themselves first. And it's some kind of activation that, again, can be recorded and can be used. And even if it's like not with sound, because maybe they're saying something to each other that's a little bit more private, but you can use the image of, men touching each other and like bigging each other up, patting each other on the back, some kind of thing. And then you could put like what would be a Twitter statement over that footage. And you could do that again several times over and over and over and over and over again. So yay to the success of your book and your book signing. As a creative consultant, what I love to do and what I would normally have done is ask you a ton more questions. Like, questions are hands down the best way for me to get clear about what you see. Because as a creative consultant, my job is to get your goal to be one, to be lived, to be what you actually have as reality. So making sure that I know what your reality wants to be, and all I do is kind of just add to it. But as you see, without questions, I can receive things that can support the overall tone of what you would like in an event, not just the thing itself. Absolutely. What I want to do through Jam Good Living is offer what I have. I believe that I want to add. That's all I want to do. I want to add. You got something, I want to add to it. I want to support it. I want to be somebody who infuses good into it. And so I really want this connection is good too. Like this, us making sure that we get what we have out into the world, no matter how it is. And I will have to say publicly, thank you to Corey Network King Moore, because what he told me was, you have this business, but how often are you telling people what it is that you do, how it is that you help, how it is that you serve? And to be honest, like every time I go out, yes, and people end up figuring out that I'm a happiness coach and a creative consultant. They're like, oh my gosh, that looks right. Yeah, I can see that. But I'm not on a regular basis saying, hey, here's an opportunity, people who I don't know, but who might need me. This is who I am. This is what I do. Here are some examples of what I love to do so that you can utilize me if I'm needed, and so I appreciate you for letting me dive into your actual, your book launch. And honestly, there are some Black-owned cigar bars that could be a great host of something like that. Not to say that McPhail Studios isn't the place, because that could be a really nice place for you too. I hope you look it up. But like that event, nice, and y'all actually have like the man kind of conversations. I think it's going to be great for the community in general. So yes, by all means, go for it. Please, 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 please. So that was a good demonstration of the creative consultant side. So say you were one of my clients and now you were a part of the content creation club. Knowing that you have a book and that's what we're working towards, I would on a weekly basis send you 4 different posts, custom curated to support what it is that we've already talked about is the communication that you like to have with your clients, with your people who are going to be there. As well as each week you get prompting questions, because again, questions are it. If you can answer any question about your business, and I'm talking about any nuanced questions, like who is it that you serve? Who is it that gets served by you? Same question, but if you can answer them in different ways to adapt to the way that the question was answered, now you know your business. Now you can communicate your business in any forum, in any way, on any elevator, on any chance. Hey, how you doing? What I try to do on a weekly basis is get you to get more specific about what it is that you do, what it is that you offer, what it is that you have to give. And they correspond with the prompting posts so that you almost get your copy from just answering the question. So what I do through my content creation club is literally get together the things you need to support you in creating your content. Now, there are several different layers to the way that I've done this content club. The first layer is really weekly prompts in the post and in the questions. We have another layer, which is our middle layer, where we'd have one-on-one time that we sit down bi-weekly and really dive into the prompts, the questions, see if you need any help. And then that also comes with supporting things like AI prompts and things of that nature, because I know AI is the thing nowadays. And then we have our final level in the content creation club, which is actually me and you creating content together. Instead of it being like, hey, here's suggestions, go do that. It's, hey, here's suggestions. Let's plan for this, plan for that, plan for this. And if you're just tuning in, I thank you so much for coming. I am Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. JAMGOOD, and I'm giving you more information about the company that I have, JAMGOOD Living. It is a health and wellness support company that supports businesses, individuals, and corporations have a jam good life, because life is so jam good. And I'm excited that you have joined me, because again, I want to make sure that I offer up what it is that I have. I am somebody who loves ideas. I love taking the itty bitty seed of something that somebody has and that's idea, and then going, here's the whole field and here's how you can profit from it. Like, that's a lot of what I love to do. And as a creative consultant, I have positioned myself to really focus on the mindset of the person creating the success, because it's inevitable. We got to get to the mindset where we think it's here and now. And then that mindset produces habits. Now, the weekly prompts and those kind of things are a part of helping you routinely get into a habit of concentrating on your content. But as a creative consultant, I also can be hired on to be a part of your team outside of the content creation club to really add on to what it is that you have. I love to act as a support. God already has given you the vision, so that means it's already there. It's already promised. So let's get to it. Let's go to it. Let's be about it. And that happens through positive mental attitude. You've got to have a yes, we can, yes, it is kind of mindset. And then we also have to have daily actions and or most of the day actions that support what it is that you want. So I'll give you a small example of what a habit could be to support a goal. So fitness wise, and that's why a lot of times you'll see fitness on my page, because I know that being fit and being somebody who does something with your body on purpose, that's the way you clean out your mind of old thoughts. That's the way that you clear out things that are no longer helpful, like literally and mentally. Your brain allows a shift when you're moving your body, testing what it does, pushing it past its limits. And so say the goal is I want to be a certain shape or a certain size, or I want to be able to do a certain thing. Then the actual habits that will go to it are like the ways you eat, the habits of how you treat your body and what you do with it. So say an idea. I want to have clients and customers. One of the habits that we probably do is a certain type of content to communicate with them, or a certain regimen of offerings that you offer, or a certain style of engagement things. Those would be habits that we can implement to really help sure your success. Again, I am Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. JAMGOOD, and I am so excited. I would love if we had another idea that we can dive into, because today's ideation session is really wanting to give you an idea of what it is that I have to offer. And another thing that I love as the person behind JAMGOOD Living is literally my focus all day, every day is what is JAMGOOD about this. Now, that's something that I really help with too. And I love to help with that. And in my happiness sessions with people, it's kind of like a therapy session, but kind of not. Because what happens is we have conversations, you catch me up, where you going, what's going on, how things are doing. But what I listen for is your energy shifts. And it's funny because you could do it over the phone, you could do it over Zoom, depending on the agreement that we have. But what it is you'll say something and I can hear in your voice, there's something stuck about that. The way you're thinking about that doesn't make you feel good, or something about that is holding you back from what you literally want, right? And so when I hear those things, I pause, like, all right, let's pause. And then what we do is we have conversation about how we can shift our perspective about things. Now, if you're just tuning in, I am Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. JAMGOOD, and I'm doing more explanation about JAMGOOD Living, my health and wellness support company. As a happiness coach, what I do is I help you with shifting your energy, changing your mind. Oh, thank you. I love yours too. Best DJ in the world. I love it. That was so much fun to work with you. So in terms of being a happiness coach, just like when I'm hosting events, my job is to hype you up. I want to hype up the best perspectives possible, because again, happiness is not the absence of bad things or what we call bad things. Happiness is a perspective that allows for these things to be good. And I, as a foundation, believe that life is so damn good. So as a happiness coach, what I do is I help you get to the place of seeing the good in things. Now, those are like the one-on-one explanations, but I also do happiness coaching in group sessions, and they're called my movement sessions. Now, what I do is I help people by helping them wiggle. Let's do a little challenge right now. Try to wiggle with a straight face. Okay, you heard me. Try to wiggle with a straight face. No smile, no nothing. Try to wiggle. Like shimmy your shoulders. Really. What you can't do is move your body in those kind of ways and not have some joy just burst out of you. And so as a happiness coach, my job is to help facilitate experiences like that for individuals and groups who need to move their bodies and move their minds. I am so excited. And what I really enjoy about offering these support and help offerings to individuals, businesses, and the corporations, it's the fact that people end up leaving different. They come in one way and they leave different because we have done the ultimate shift that any person can do for themselves, which is change their mind. As a happiness coach, my job is to really express the peace that can come from thinking about things being good. Oh my goodness, so exciting, new life. Oh goodness, see, the good thing about life is that beautiful things will come. Now, we get the atom power, and this is what I call it with my clients. We got atom power, and the atom power is we get to call it. Now, I'm calling that pregnancy a good thing, because it is. It's a great thing. But we get to call anything we want. And I challenge you for the rest of the day, whatever happens, call it good and see what happens. As your happiness coach through Jam Good Living, my job is to remind you that your power is inside. It's almost like I'm sitting on the couch with you, watching you watch your favorite thing and see that you have the remote in other people's hands, expecting them to pay attention to you and what your favorite things are and put that on the remote. No. What I do is I help you take the remote back and remember that you have the control to choose whatever channel it is that you want your mind to be on so your life could be full of that channel's experience. Now, I want this to be an example because, again, Jam Good Living is a health and wellness support company that I created out of moving myself out of a place of having all the things that I was supposed to like, but not feeling good inside. I want to be an example because honestly, the only way that you can help somebody else is by just living what it is that you have, right? And as a creative consultant and happiness coach, my job is really to support you as you go and claim and name what it is that's yours. I love what it is that I do through the content creation club and the jam pop-up parties and the individual tracks that I have on each, the creative consulting side and the happiness coaching side. My job gets to be to point out the good parts of life, to point out the good of it. And what I'm going to do, because I love the fact that I got to get into one example already and y'all got a chance to see the ideas that can come. I want to end this session with a story. And this is a story that actually has changed the way I looked at everything. I'm talking every single thing changed the moment I heard this story and recognized that, ooh, I get the naming power on things. Okay. So there once was this kingdom in China and it was like rural and everybody was farmers, and this farmer and his family were prosperous, living well. And then one day, one of the horses that they had, the only horse that they had, ran away. The whole entire village, because they're close-knit, they go to the same church, all the stuff. They brought over food and they were like, oh my gosh, we're so sad and sorry for your loss. The farmer graciously accepted, thank you, we love you, but who knows what's good or bad is what he said. A couple weeks later, that same horse comes back with 15 other wild horses. The village is like, oh my gosh, look at that abundance. They have a party. We lit, everything's good. The farmer again, cool, calm, very gracious, let's party. But who knows what's good or bad. Okay, maybe like a week or two later, the farmer's son is doing what you got to do with wild horses, breaking them in, like riding them, breaking them in. But then this one particular horse knocked him off and broke the son's leg. Again, whole village. Oh no, what are you going to do now? Your son was helping you on the farm. How are you going to survive? The farmer said, well, we, appreciate your kind wishes, your love, but who knows what's good or bad. The very next day, the emperor of China made a decree that all the first sons in the home will go and fight in the army. They were about to face some kind of other enemy or something like that. And so what ended up happening is the fact that the son broke his leg when the soldier came to the door of that house. The son was no longer able to go because he broke his leg. They weren't going to take him. And again, the village was like, oh my gosh, your son was saved. And the farmer said, who knows what's good or bad? My answer to that story is what's good or bad. And the way you know and the reason you know is because you get to call it good or bad. And because I have done lots of research on this life through living and through studying different courses on happiness and mentality and mindset. What I know is that anything that you put your mind to and you hold in your mind as true will eventually come out through your actions, through your face, through your words. It will come out in what you live. So call your life good. Call the games fair for you. Call the things right and well. And I would love to be a part of your good living, your Jam Good living. Because again, I'm Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. Jam Good, and I'm so excited that you tuned in for today's informational session. Thank you for everybody who tuned in and for those who participated. I am a happiness coach and creative consultant that is here to support your best living because I know for sure that life is so jam good. Please reach out to me. info@jamgoodliving.com is my email. Please check into my website if you want to know more about how I can serve you. It's www.jamgoodliving.com, spelled just like it sounds, JAMGOODLIVING. And again, I'm Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. Jam Good, and I have loved being able to talk to you. For those of you tapping in on YouTube, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you guys for being there. I truly do care, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bow. All right, YouTube, that was the end of the live there. But for those of you who are on YouTube, and if you have any questions, I'm about to tap into C, and let's talk a bit. Because I do know that being a creative consultant and happiness coach has been one of like the best things that I have done for myself, because not only do I get to feel and hear people move through transitions in their lives, but I actually get to witness the shift of life happening through the shift of mind. Because think about it. Have you ever been talking to a friend that seems a bit frustrated, but like throughout the conversation or y'all talk a little bit more, and then it's like she relaxes, they relax, you know what I'm saying? He's chill now. He's gone through the emotional whatever that they're in. Now, I, as a happiness coach, want to help people move through that. I want to help life get to a place where you know that your perspective shape what it is that you do. And I'm excited to introduce myself, Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. Jam Good, and I am excited that this life is unfolding the way it is, because this truly is only the beginning. Only the beginning. But I am so very glad that you tuned in today. Again, my name is Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. Jam Good, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, because I really do care about your well-living, because I do know that life is so jam good. So I'm so very glad that you have a wonderful day. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I'll see you soon.